Okay, as I promised, I'm going to do the same thing on this video that we did yesterday in the classroom for portfolio. So this is the file, and I have to try different things. Once I have decided the right camera, the right sun angle, and I think this is good enough, I can keep creating those lines. So on level 1, I'm going to keep copying those lines here. Those. And here again. And now I have to do this. So in this 3D view, now we have all the lines. If they are green, remember that we have to select them. Filter just the lines. And right click, override graphics in view by category. And select gray, weight 1. So now we have gray lines here. That's what we want. Next step, we're going to create a set of materials. So if I want to change the material for that slab, I can edit type, and well, here I have a travertine, but I don't have the texture included here. So I'm going to create a new material, change the name, change the appearance, select an image, and I have the files, computer, materials, so I can use one of those. Okay. And then remember that this is probably the most important thing in Revit. We have to change the sample size. By default, we have 1 foot. Make sure that you type 9 feet for the sample size, and then we get it done. We apply, and okay. We don't see the material because we are in a hidden line, but if we were in realistic, we can see the material here, which is nicer. We have these 2 different lines because I think we have a different gray. Okay, so I'm going to select everything again. I'm going to filter. I just want to select lines. Okay, now override graphics in view category, and I'm going to select the same gray for everything. Okay, well, if we render again, probably we will have the same lines. Override graphics in view. Element. No, those are. Okay, now all these lines are the same. It's not, well, so we have this. Second, I'll change the material for topography. So as you know, if we select this material by default in Revit, I think you will find this material for topography. think it's earth. Yeah, so this is the default material. First, the material is very ugly, and second, we have this one by one. So I'm going to do it wrong on purpose, and then you will see this terrible effect. We are repeating the texture, and even the texture is not nice. So actually, remember that I inserted the material that we have here. We have different kinds of grass, but I'm going to do something different for the shore and the grass itself. I think it will be good if I do this. So first, we're going to create a new material, and this new material has to be grass. Green. The appearance, select image, and we have this grass. 22. I change the sample size to 10 feet. Done. Then I apply. And I have something that is slightly better. But I want to change the color of the shore here. Okay. So on level 1, if you select the topography and we go to massing and site, we can split surface. So here we have 2 different materials. Okay, so we can split this and create 2 different materials. We can do the same with the subregion. Okay, so let's do split surface. And I'm going to draw like a line that it's following kind of the contour lines. Okay, so you see that we have created 2 different things. We have created this, which is the grass, and this that is close to the water, we can create a new material here. So if I create a new material, and I'm going to call this shore. The appearance, it's this dirt, and it's the same texture but with a different color, and I'm going to use the same sample size down line. Okay, so now the shore is different. So when we insert the water here, I will have the grass, then I will have something different, and then I'll have the this. Okay, I think it will be nicer having 2 different materials. Okay, and I was going to use something different for the walls. Okay, so if I edit type, I edit this material for the wall, I create a new one, and I want to create something like a gray stone and image. I do have a gray stone here. Increase the sample size to 8 feet. Apply. Okay, so now in the walls we have these things. Sometimes you see that here we see the line, we see some pattern that it's repeating. Well, in the case of a wall, it can be, so it doesn't bother. If you want to prevent this, you have to make the sample size bigger. So if we edit the type, we edit the material, and we make the sample size 11 instead of 8, probably we won't have that effect. Okay. Yeah, so now we don't repeat this material in horizontal, only in vertical. Okay, I think it's good enough. Okay, so now I'm going to try different graphic display options. So the first thing I'm going to do is, if I show edges, we show the edges of the drawing, but it looks more realistic if I don't show it. Okay, so I'm going to do this. But if I want to get rid of the contour lines, it's in massing side, model side, and then you have to increase the increment of the contour lines to 10 feet. And now, well, we only have one left here, but at least we don't have others. And probably in this view, I can even hide these lines, hiding view. Okay, and now I have to start printing this. So I'm going to print different PDFs with different options, and then I will open everything in Photoshop. So print as a Microsoft PDF. Okay, and I'm going to do it again. First one. And now I try different options. For example, use a hidden line with shadows and print it again. One. I'm going to print these lines now. Hide view and hide category. And I'm going to deselect the shadows, and I'm going to print it again. Two. Okay, so now we have 3 of them, and I'm going to open all these with Photoshop. The number 0, 1, 2. Okay, so now I have 3 different files, and this is what I tried to do yesterday, and I failed, because if you do this, if you print the same image to PDF, you have the same view, and then you don't have to adjust the scale as we did yesterday. We lost a lot of time doing this. So I'm going to copy and paste it here, and copy and paste it here. And now I can get rid of these 2. So now I have the same file with 3 different layers, and now we can start doing things with those layers. Now I'm going to crop the view. And I'm going to start working with the reflection. So I'm going to use this one for the reflection. I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to edit, transform, flip vertical, and then I'm going to move it down. Okay, so that's why now I need this one, because the water is going to start here, and I'm going to use magic wand. I have to be in this layer. So I select this, and if now I delete this one, okay, so I have here the nice reflection. Go, or we can go down. Because I want this, I want the grass, then I want the shore, that it's a different material, and then we will get the reflection here. Okay. Okay, so now I keep selecting the same thing because I want to get rid of everything that it's not the reflection. Okay, so if I have selected this, I select inverse till delete in this layer. Now, sorry, select inverse in this layer, and now I can get rid of it. So I have the original drawing and the reflection, but for the reflection, now I want to use the opacity, and I can have a reflection here, but it's not that right. Okay, so I can have this reflection, and I think having a texture, it always helps. Okay. What else can I do? I'm going to select this part of this drawing, and on this reflection, I'm going to apply a gradient. Okay, so if I make it slightly bluish, and then if I use gradient from, this is the foreground to background, but I want the foreground to transparent. And then if I do something like this, I create the feeling that this is a little bluish and it looks more like water. Okay. And I think yesterday I did something with the reflection itself, with the texture, with some filters. I think I used the wind, the slide wind, and if we move it this way, you see the effect here. Okay, so we have kind of this distortion of the image, but none of it's necessary. But you can try the effects of all these filter options. For example, the blur, if you have this Gaussian blur, what you do is to do something like this. Yeah, so now the reflection is blurry. Well, probably it looks good. Anyway, don't go crazy with these kind of things, but you can try these filter options and see what happens. If you have to fix these lines, I told you that there are two ways. First, we need to be on the right layer, this one. So we can either use the clone. Okay, if you clone stamp, probably you have to increase the size of this. Well, I don't see it. So this is the target, and this is the original. But now we are, ugh. Okay, probably this is too big because for some reason I can't see. Okay, so here you have the idea of the sample size. So we can do this, or we can use the healing brush tool. I don't know exactly how it works, but it works. Using so with this we can get rid of this black line. Okay, we're getting there. When you use the topography, the topography doesn't get to the horizon line. We have this white spot. I'm not a fan of this, but yeah, probably will have to fix it. But anyway, now that you have this, we have different options for this, with lines or without lines. Okay, so let's try this one, and I'm going to remove the opacity. So with this one, we see that we have the tiles, we have the lines, and it might look slightly better. And the things that we have, yeah, so this doesn't have to be that green. Oh, the problem is that I thought I had fixed this, but this little line is still there. So I want to delete it. If I'm on this line and I select this, I have deleted. Oh, I see the problem. Oh, it's here. Okay. So just by using the eraser, no, it's the worst. Okay, what happens actually is that it's not white. So if I paint it in white, okay, so it disappears. Good. Okay, so that's good enough. I don't think we need contour lines in this kind of views. I would select this part, or this part of the sky. Selecting this, and I would try to do something for this, okay, because this transition is like 2, so I can select this color, and now I can apply a gradient from this color to transparent. It doesn't work. Well, let me do this, and now I do the same. Okay, get better. Anyway, you can always use a background here, or use the clone to make this green. But well, I think it's good enough. And then about inserting people, I have here a few human beings. Okay, so when we have this, make sure that we first rasterize the layer. So right click, rasterize, and then we select the silhouettes, select inverse, delete, and now we have to file, edit, transform, scale, make it smaller, and if we can select the opacity, because people is not the most important thing. We just need the human scale. Oh, and I did this with the shadows. If we have the shadows in this direction, I can always duplicate this layer. I can flip vertical. I move it down. And now if the shadows are coming in this direction, I can use distort to do this. There you go. And make this layer even softer. So I'm not inserting the guy with the kayak here because I've seen that you have already done it. But I like this better than what I did yesterday, and I think it's because this texture, because the water is not just water, so I have like a texture here in Revit, and it looks good. Okay, get back to me if you have any questions.